I'm sitting here absolutely heartbroken. I'm sitting here absolutely heartbroken, soul destroyed, day ruined, kids are crying over what our boy Mark has done. Now, for those of you that don't know, I'll go into the backstory behind this particular gentleman because me and him have a little bit of history. Now, everybody knows that my YouTube channel is demonetized. Like, no matter what I upload, fuck, got the Rona. No matter what I upload, it gets demonetized. I get that little lovely yellow symbol next to the video. Shut the fuck up, headphones. Right, I get that lovely little orange, not orange, fucking stupid headset. No matter what I upload on my YouTube channel, I get the little yellow monetization, demonetized icon, not suitable for advertisers. And it's no matter what I upload. I even literally uploaded just a video of my dogs playing and YouTube demonetized it. Okay, and the reason that all of that started, the real reason it started, because I had a bunch of monetized videos on my channel. I was actually making money from ads on YouTube. I was actually making quite good money in ads from YouTube. Until one day, I got a DM, someone tweeted at me, this guy, Mark DiStefano. Hey Dankula, is it okay if we talk? And then I looked at his bio and I seen a Buzzfeed journalist. So immediately I was suspicious right away. And I messaged him. And he said something along the lines, oh yeah, it was just to ask you about your channel's monetization. And I was like, why? Like, what's that got to do with you? Oh, we were talking about Tommy's channel being demonetized and all that. And he's like, so I just wanted to ask about your monetization as well. And I was just kind of like, that's a little bit strange. And then I went on to my YouTube studio and looked. Every single video had been demonetized. And then, so I replied going like that. So what the fuck's going on? Why the fuck the date? Because I was on my YouTube studio the night before. I had all my monetized videos. And then the next day, when he messages me, all my videos are demonetized. So I'm like, right, this motherfucker's clearly got something to do with it. And I was like, right, what did you do? Oh, no, I didn't do anything. I was just wanting to ask you for a comment for this article that I'm going to do. And like, it turned out that he'd been in contact with YouTube about Tommy Robinson, and he'd clearly mentioned me because I was mentioned in the article as well, talking about far-right YouTubers and all this shit. And basically because YouTube were getting shit because Tommy Robinson had some monetized videos, and because I got mentioned, and I was clearly mentioned in the emails back and forth between Mark DiStefano and YouTube, so YouTube went panic mode and obviously demonetized Tommy and completely demonetized me as well. So basically the reason he lied about me to YouTube, saying I was far right, made a fucking hit piece article fucking saying, bunch of shit about me. YouTube done what it usually does, panics and gives the absolute wrong response. So that is the reason that I'm fully demonetized on YouTube no matter what I upload. However, it is unfortunate that YouTube listened to Mark DiStefano because he's not really an honest journalist. I mean, I could have told you that from the fucking get-go, but our boy Mark DiStefano is in a little bit of trouble. Financial Times suspends journalist accused of listening to rival outlet Zoom calls. Yes, Mark DiStefano was hacking into the Zoom conference calls of rival publications. Now, Mark DiStefano left BuzzFeed Monday. Mark DiStefano left BuzzFeed in January, and he went up to the Financial Times. That's quite a step up. BuzzFeed aren't exactly known for their world-class, stellar journalism. So the Financial Times, that probably is a little bit better. However, Mark, see when you go to an actual, big, serious newspaper, not one that is a screeching left-wing rag, you don't get to use the same tactics. It's closer to, probably the closest thing to what you could call real journalism, at least the realest journalism that you can get in 2020, current year. You can't do all that, shady stuff that was permissible. And, the left-wing rags where it's where they have the whole ethos of No bad tactics, just bad targets. But even if we target the wrong people, we'll make excuses and call them Nazis anyway. Mark DiStefano allegedly accessed sensitive, independent and Evening Standard meetings. A Financial Times reporter has been suspended after the Independent accused him of listening in on sensitive Zoom meetings held by its senior managers, telling staff about salary cuts and furloughs. Now, that definitely is some secret information. You know, some companies won't want people to know about that. A lot of the staff won't want people to know about that. That's some very private, you know, sensitive information about fellow journalists, no less, Mark. Mark DiStefano, who joined the who joined the Financial Times from BuzzFeed in January, fucking hell, I think I do have the Rona, has been accused of listening to the audio feed of video conference calls held by The Independent and its sister title, The Evening Standard, about responding to the financial impact of coronavirus. In each case, DiStefano, a prolific tweeter with more than 100,000 followers, broke the news of the meetings on Twitter at the same time as the staff were being informed. So while he's listening to this private call, right, while the call is still ongoing, he is revealing the information to the public via Twitter. Mark, you got no class, son. God damn, like, these people are learning, like, sensitive information about their lives and financial future, and you're live tweeting it while their hearts are being broken. Oh my. Mark. Bad form. Bad form. A story on the measures being introduced by the Evening Standard, which is edited by the former Chancellor, George Osborne. George Osborne was actually tweeting out about it as well. He is not happy with the Financial Times. Like, he was tweeting at them saying, "Why were one of your journalists hacking into your calls?" George Osborne was subsequently published by the Financial Times. So basically, you know, the Financial Times obviously ran the story. I think Mark might have told a little fib about where he got the information from. A summary of the cuts at the online-only Independent was published in the Financial Times Daily Live blog. The Independent claimed Zoom log files showed an account registered to DiStefano's Financial Times.com email address. Rookie move, son. Rookie move. You make a fucking burner. Jesus Christ. Not even just doing it with your personal email, doing it with your fucking work email. God damn, man. God damn. Joined the video call for Independent staff last week for 16 seconds. Oh, did you realise you joined with your fucking work email and then immediately disconnected? Yeah, well done. The caller's video was disabled, but some journalists apparently saw his name flash briefly on the screen before he left the meeting. Minutes later, a separate account joined the call, this time unnamed, the Independent said. It claimed the caller remained in audio-only mode with a black square displayed to journalists on the video call. The anonymous user account, which remained in the meeting until the end, was later shown to be linked to a mobile phone used by the same Financial Times reporter. Again, Mark, rookie moves, you use a burner. God damn, you're new. I thought with all the years that you spent at BuzzFeed, you would be pretty skilled in this whole, you know, subterfuge type of thing. But it seems you're still a bit of a rookie. I'm interested to know how they found out it was linked to the mobile phone. I mean, that possibly. I mean, Zoom aren't just going to fucking give out like the personal information of like its users. You know, it's a company, they're legally like not allowed to do that. So that makes me think a little bit. There might be police involvement here. I don't know. Although technically, what Mark did is illegal under the Computer Misuse Act. Basically, you know, gaining access to it, blah blah blah. Like technically, it kind of is, but you know, I don't know if there's police involvement. But my lord, wouldn't it be a shame? Using his own work email and then using his own phone. The Financial Times began investigating DiStefano after the Independent contacted senior figures at the paper with its allegations. The Financial Times story about the cuts cited people on the call as its source. The Independent also alleged that the account, it says, is linked to Di Stefano's mobile phone, gained access to an Evening Standard video call made by Osborne announcing large-scale furloughs and salary cuts on the 1st of April. The Independent editor, Christian Broughton, says, "We respect freedom of speech." Wow. A mainstream news publication that respects freedom of speech. My God, I never thought I would see the day. And understanding the challenges of news gathering, but we like free speech. But the Independent considers the presence of a third-party journalist in a staff briefing to be entirely inappropriate and an unwarranted intrusion into our employees' privacy. Our spokesperson had a full statement prepared for the press. Any interested reporters only needed to call and ask, but not our boy Mark. He used his initiative. He used something that is possibly illegal. A spokesperson for the Evening Standard said, "For a journalist for the Financial Times to have illegitimately accessed a private Zoom call is unacceptable. We are sure the Financial Times will want to offer an immediate explanation and an apology." The Financial Times Code of Conduct states the press must not seek to obtain or publish material acquired by intercepting private or mobile telephone calls, messages or emails, engaging in misrepresentation or subterfuge. Fucking hell, engaging in misrepresentation or subterfuge. Man, if only all mainstream outlets had those fucking rules. Can generally be justified only in the public interest and then only when the material cannot be obtained by other means. The Financial Times declined to comment. Superb. Absolutely superb. Now, basically, it's not the same case as over in America, but over here in Britain, we had this huge fucking thing called the phone hacking scandal, where it turned out that reporters, whenever they were reporting on any type of incident, they were actually hacking into people's phones and getting their voicemails, right? And basically using the information about that and gaining information for the stories from voicemails left on phones. And the one that was the big one, the one that they really got into fucking trouble for was, I forget the girl's name, but it was a murder case. A young girl had been murdered, and obviously the press were wanting the scoop. They wanted the information about what had happened in regards to the murder. But when they hacked that girl's phone, and they did it several times, they hacked into that girl's phone several times, and every time, the police are looking for the girl. She was missing at this point. They didn't know. She was already dead at this point, but the police didn't know. And so journalists were hacking into the girl's phone, and what it was doing was it was pinging the girl's phone, making it look like it was still active, which meant either the girl or the killer had it, and the police were apparently telling the mum and dad, her phone's still pinging, like someone, the phone is being accessed. So basically it gave the mum and dad false hope. They didn't know that their daughter was actually fucking dead. So that was, I remember that. That was extreme. So many fucking newspapers get sued and fucking dragged through the mud. That's when they decided to bring in press watchdogs. I think that was roughly about the time they brought in IPSO, the Independent Press Standards Organisation, which is an absolutely fucking useless organisation that absolutely needs defunded. IPSO is completely bought out by the newspapers. Like, they serve to protect the newspapers. Like, the point of it was to protect people that the newspapers lie about. Instead, they just make tons of excuses about the newspapers, like for the newspapers to excuse them of any guilt. So yeah, what Mark's done is that's pretty serious. Hacking into a call and listening to the private information of fellow journalists just because they're from rival publications. I mean, Mark, you just got upgraded from the left-wing screecher rags, man. I mean, how long did you work at the Financial Times? Like, you started there in January, it's only April now, 3 months. You were only there for 3 months before you get suspended for doing some sketchy shit. You're not in the left-wing rags anymore, man. This is you in the big leagues. You were in the big leagues, boy. They don't really do any of that scummy shit that people like BuzzFeed do. And that's you suspended now. And I mean, he's being strangely quiet about it on Twitter. Like, he's posting tweets and people are replying, like, you know, look at this article, Mark, care to comment? But, you know, you hate to see it. You just hate to see it. But I mean, Mark, there's a small chance you're possibly could be blacklisted from many of the major publications after this. But I mean, hey, if you're looking for a job, I totally could have hired you and helped you out with some money, but unfortunately someone got all of my YouTube videos demonetized and attacked my income and actually caused me a lot of financial stress. I mean, I'd have loved to have helped you out, man. I'm afraid I'm just not able to do it. But I mean, hey ho, you live and you learn. I'm sorry. Schadenfreude usually isn't really my thing. I don't like Schadenfreude, but I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult. But yeah, have fun, boys.